How does alcohol detoxification work? The danger here is if somebody goes cold turkey from drinking alcohol, i.e. meaning that they just stop suddenly and do not take any of the medications that are specialized in the situation, they can go into serious complications. The worst case are seizures and also delirium tremens, which is an older term that's used to describe when a person becomes delirious and tremulous. And this is a very common thing. You can see the person going into having actual body shakes and then becoming confused. So we don't want this happening. It's not wise for somebody to suddenly stop taking alcohol on their own. The best thing to do is to seek advice from a healthcare professional. They can prescribe medication in the benzodiazepine class for 2 or 3 days. Valium is the most commonly known one, and this allows them is a bridging medication to help avoid going into the seizures and delirium tremens, and to then wean them off of these drugs after about 2 or 3 days. That's most cases. Sometimes it can be up to a week, depending on the particular patient and how much they've used in the past. So this is just the first step. So detox is just the first step. Like I said, it can last 2 or 3 days, sometimes up to a week, but they need to be medically stabilized on the benzodiazepines, which are the bridging drugs. And once they are off of this, then they are feeling a lot better. They're clear-headed, and now they're ready for the harder part, which is ideally rehab. This does not mean that they need to be admitted to a rehabilitation center, although some people get the most benefit this way, particularly if they're abstaining completely, which is the best way to go with alcohol. In treatment and a rehab, they can learn this is the harder part because it's lifestyle changes. So it's not just abstinence. Abstinence is only maybe 15% of recovery. The other 85% is learning the lifestyle changes to ensure a long-term recovery. And so this is learned typically in a rehab where tools can be learned by this person so to avoid relying on their crutch, relying on the alcohol. And this takes a lot more time. But for rehab, alcohol rehab, I have discussed this in other questions, and you can refer to those video questions for more. So to summarize, alcohol detox is just a bridging process to get somebody stable enough so they can get into some sort of treatment program. The detox process involves abstaining from alcohol, but doing this at the advice of a healthcare provider who can provide a benzodiazepine drug like Valium that helps prevent the onset of delirium tremens and seizures and other complications associated with sudden and abrupt cessation of alcohol. They go through a period of discomfort lasting from 2 to 3 days, sometimes up to a week. And once they're medically stabilized, they're ready for the harder process. And this is going into treatment and learning the behaviors and coping strategies needed to deal with life stresses.